is epic. Love to see those rally points. Didn't want to have to think about it, so just go there. Quasimodo tying it up in the supply arena as he lays down 3 gateways. His warp gate is going to be done at 8 seconds, 8 game seconds behind his opponent. And we see our opponent is laying down his next assimilator. And you know what Blizzard needs to do in their next patch for observers? It needs to allow you to click on these icons and go to it on the screen. That would be awesome. It would help me out a lot. Because I am nowhere near as good as I Am Legend. I don't know if you've ever watched any GOM TV games. That is website, gomtv.net for the US version, gomtv.com, that's gomtv.net, the US English version. You have Tasteosis, which are the 2 commentators, Arcosis and Tasteless together. They all come into one amazing announcer that we know as Tasteosis. And they have just a fantastic observer that goes by the name Legend. And I've never seen a picture of him, I've never heard his voice or anything like that, but just a little graphic pops up on the screen and tells you that that is who's guiding the game, your viewing experience. So if you're watching this right now and you wish that I would show you more or different things, get a hold of me on Facebook, on Twitter, somewhere, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to. Right now, we see Quasimodo's going to poke up. Oh, no, he is refuted by Strab, who gets to see basically his whole army. And I don't know why he even pretended that he was going to chase that out. Right now, we have Strab way up on the supply, but most of that has to be taken up. It was 6 of it, at least. Yeah. The difference in supply mostly comes down to difference in workers. Again, Strab with a little bit of oversaturation, which is actually hurting the rate at which he mines. If we look at the income, you see that even though he has 5 more workers, the difference is only on average 150. It's actually higher than I thought it was, so that's a fun thing to look at. But as he gets more harvesters, each one becomes less effective, so the money invested in them is kind of a sunk cost. Kinda. If you're an economist and you're listening to me, I know I'm wrong there. Let me run with it, please. I'm saying a lot of words. So right now we have Quasimodo looking like he's gonna expand and just kind of sit out here and make sure that Strab doesn't get to. And that would be really fantastic to see. No, Quasimodo spends his money on Immortal that he's probably going to send down here. Interestingly, this Zealot is Strab's, so he can tell exactly where Quasimodo is. Really should go up there and check that, and she should probably have control of this Zelnaga, just in case Strab has something going on. This, right now, is what I was mentioning last game. If Strab has a probe out on the map active early on, then it's right now building a pylon somewhere, and he's building 3 zealots that are going to run up here in this completely unprotected ramp, this completely unprotected base, and they're going to just decimate Quasimodo's workers. It's just going to be pathetic, the number that survive. And then we got the observer battle. They saw each other. I would like to have seen... Oh, there it is, exactly like that. Nice, Quasimodo. Somebody's returning to serve. That would be an Immortal. What up, friend? Did you just pop in? No, I clicked on you, and that was really loud. Let's do it again. Oh, it's not happening. What if I... No, I have no idea how that just happened. That was an interesting little glitch in the game. Perhaps it's the lag that my computer is creating. So now Quasimodo is backing off of his pressure and more or less just in time. Now we see the value of that observer. And Quasimodo, who had been ahead, is now significantly behind Strab, who's still just doing the 3-gate robo, and now he's expanding. Quasimodo never expanded, and in fact allowed himself to be supply blocked by allowing this pylon to be part of his actual supply. There we go. Srab is reobtaining control of his watchtower. However, Quasimodo doesn't have control of his, and that could spell his doom. It's a really difficult thing to know when to move out. Right now, a lot of pros will say have a probe out here, or a zealot here, or somebody patrolling. They would be normally not double checking for ninja expansions, but definitely in the lower levels it's far more prevalent. I know I do it myself, and it allows me to win some games that honestly probably I shouldn't, because you got an awesome engagement, but you also allowed me to do whatever I wanted. And what I want to do is expand, and I want to max out early, and I want to kill you with a Marine Marauder Ball, or Zerg Baneling, or from Protoss, anything. Get it? It's a joke, but not really. I struggle against Protoss, so when I am Protoss, it's just heavenly. It's more confusing when you lose them. So now we see that Srab is going with the Forge, and 2 more gateways as his expansion finishes up. That is some nice timing. And actually we see that there's no workers here yet, so as long as Quasimodo's transfer goes on at basically the same time, we should see no real difference in the mining rate. There's Quasimodo's transfer, or there was Srab. This is Quasimodo's transfer. So wow, we definitely have entered the mid game. We have expansions up. We have essentially 100 capped armies. I shouldn't say capped, because that indicates that it's a 200 army, which is the maximum supply that you can have. You look in this upper right hand corner, you see that each unit is worth a certain amount of supply. If you were allowed unlimited supply, then some players would just continue forever. We see that Srab is going with a Warp Prism, looking for that harassment while building a second Forge and getting his attack upgrades. Meanwhile, Quasimodo going with that Blink upgrade for his Stalkers. He's gone Stalker Sentry heavy with 3 Immortal, and against this very, very Zealot heavy force, there we go, a few more Stalkers of Srabs, that should be very effective. Here goes the Warp Prism. No, it's joining the army. He's like, what's up, guys? This observer, I'm not sure why he's just hanging out here. Hopefully, yeah, we got one going out to give you some vision. You don't know that the army is there, and now you do. A beautiful thing. And hopefully you look down here and you see Warp Prism. Hopefully you see Warp Prism. Do you see Warp Prism? Do you see it? I'm watching. You haven't gone down there to check. I don't think Quasimodo realized there's a Warp Prism. No, I don't believe he did.
Research complete.
Definitely seen that there's 2 forges down, and he's going with 2 more gateways. Alright, that's always fun when we can switch. Now we're watching Srab build up that force and get some upgrades complete. I'm going to go back to everyone because, man, those guys are loud. I'm sorry about that. Need to work on adjusting those settings, and I will between game. We got more warp gates, more gateways, robot facility still pumping out Immortals. We got Chrono Boosted Forge, Twilight Council that has Blink completed. We got a Dark Shrine completing. We don't have any forward pylons, nor do we have a Warp Prism, so I'm not really sure what this Dark Shrine is doing for you right now. You should probably be setting up for it before it pops. However, this is starting to really look like a scary force out of Srab. This is something that I don't want to go up against. Open the Units tab, so we take a look at some more data, and we also notice that Srab has both, or he has the North Xel'Naga Tower still, which is very nice for him. Ironically, both players somehow sniffing out that it's time to go for a third. They're like, you know what? We're going to try and transition out of this mid-game and enter a late game. We're going to see if we can do that, and it's a really dangerous time. Honestly, Quasimodo wants this to happen because right now Srab could probably push him and just roll over. There we go. Setting up for some of that DT harassment. But he's in range. But he doesn't know he's in range because it hasn't completed. We do have DTs running by, though, not even being warped in. We ran him all the way from his base. I'm going to switch back to production tab so we can see when people are coming in. And now we have some DTs doing some harass. There's the observer. The DTs run appropriately. So right now is when it's awesome. If you have, say, something right here, or maybe a pylon here and an observer, and then you warp in some DTs or even some zealots, and you run down here, you kill the last few remaining miners here. But honestly, it's probably doing Strav a favor. He's got a lot. Oh, cute little runaround. But this observer is just above you. And really, we're going to watch your vision. Oh, he sees little blurs. He gets some kills. 4, 5, 6. I do believe that was 5 kills. The other things that were dying were the DTs and now the observer. Oh, that is sad. But we have nobody over here. Nobody over here. So we have 3 Nexi for both, but nobody mining, so it doesn't really count. We open up the income tab and we see that Quasimodo is doing that transfer nicely done, and he has a lot left over because he didn't have as many probes early on, so his economy at the moment is better, which he needs because he's a good 40 supply behind. And this is something that if Strav's watching the replay, he's definitely gonna kick himself for not moving out with this enormous force right here. He's already starting to bank up, or no, sorry, that's Quasimodo who's banking up, and he really should be warping in. So Strav going for the 200. Now he's moving out. Okay, maybe he won't be kicking himself if he goes out because he's got the 200. By the time he moves across the map, he's going to have about 1,000 minerals banked up, so he can definitely reinforce. This army is in nowhere near the correct position to protect this base. This observer sees it, sees that there's no army nearby, and we have Strav just licking his lips. This army, if it's out here, if you have control of this Xel'Naga, then you perhaps see that army coming. Or if it is, you don't have to move all the way from here all the way to here. Instead, you move from right here, just up there. And it's not nearly as far, and you have a higher chance of saving stuff. Quasimodo, with some decent reaction time, actually manages to save a few of his probes and moves his army in a pretty good position. We see a secondary little force from Strav probably waiting on this engagement, and then they're going to move up. They could be sneaking up and in. Quasimodo decides not to commit, and that's a good read. He might have lost against that army, and this is a very important concept that a lot of pros will say, that if an expansion is going to be lost no matter what you do, that Nexus was going to die. Even if he got in there and he engaged and he defeated the whole army, that Nexus was dead. So why invest more money in something that's dead? Treat your base as if it doesn't exist, because in a moment it's not going to anyway. So why throw money at it? We see Strav rallies his entire army onto the Xel'Naga tower, and we're sorry about the lag right now that we're seeing. It's actually in-game, I think, or I need to increase my frame rate, which I'm going to try out. So after this game, we're going to reboot. We see just an epic battle going on with too much lag to understand. The War Prism's there. It's going to warp in some stuff. That's really useful. The Archons are just killing it, or at least one is. The other's in the back. The Immortals doing great stuff for both sides. Oh, we got a Zealot run around. Fantastic from Strav. Or Quasimodo, I mean. I'm sorry. Bad for Strav. And again, we see Quasimodo just take an amazing engagement off of Strav. Strav looked defeated early on in this game, and then it looked for sure like Quasimodo was going to lose. And then you see that fight right there that just happened. And we also see that our upgrades are at 2-0-2 and 1-0-2. So apparently just that one differential in the armor was enough to make a huge difference in the battle. There's a 40 supply difference, and streaming desperately Zealots to the third as he knows that Quasimodo is moving down towards him thanks to this nicely placed observer. We will give him that, but right now it's just desperation time. He's got some photon cannons, warping in some more, but against an upgraded range that Colossus, it just doesn't matter. We see that Strav has some Zealots that are just not involved in the fight properly. We see this Colossus already with 3 kills. This Immortal with Stalkers behind it. You have to stagger things according to the range at which they can attack if you want to take a good engagement. I have no idea why Quasimodo is running away right now. I think it may have been a misclick, because he definitely should have this game in hand unless Strab pulls out a miracle. He has no DTs